The EIB has a wide range of tools that it uses to finance investments in cities. The first is actually what we call investment loans, which are loans dedicated to a single project. It might be a major metro scheme, it might be a water treatment plant, it might be an urban regeneration scheme, but it's a single project where the bank finances or co-finances the investment and typically lends to a city for a long term to achieve this particular investment. And these investments usually are large, over 100 million euro typically in size, and they may be major investment schemes that have an economic life of 30 or 40 years and which may be very demanding in terms of implementation over a number of years. So that's the first product. The second one I would like to mention is actually what we call urban framework loans. And this is something that we've actually applied in something like 50 cities over the last 5-6 years across the EU. And these frameworks actually are a way in which the EIB can finance a time slice of investments under a city's long-term capital investment program. And this enables us to make one loan to the city, which can finance 60, 70, 80, 100 smaller investments that form part of the city's long-term capital investment program. So these facilities are actually multi-project in nature. They're very flexible. They can cover a wide range of investments such as in education, health, urban regeneration, environmental protection, green spaces, and so on. And they can actually be set up so that we know we agree with the city what sectors they cover, and then over time during the implementation the city has flexibility to propose schemes which will be included in the loan during the implementation process of this framework. So it's actually an instrument that we don't necessarily have to know up front every precise scheme because obviously cities change, cities are faced with new challenges, so we can actually use these frameworks to adapt to the challenges cities have. A type of investment I'd like to mention is actually investment funds, and there we can invest equity and we can provide financing to instruments such as urban development funds, which can be a very interesting way of blending EU resources, in fact, to leverage EU resources and bring in private financing as well. And so we have done a number of investments where we've financed the urban development funds to enable such funds to invest in urban regeneration, for example, in a city. Or we've done investment funds that can tackle brownfield rehabilitation, and this is also quite a high-risk type of investment, because bringing toxic sites back into economic use in the heart of cities, it's a great thing to do because it actually contributes to the circular economy, to the better use of existing public infrastructure and services, but it's also high risk in terms of the environmental risks and the property-related risks of the use of these sites afterwards. So these are the three of the main types of instrument that we have for financing cities. Perhaps one final thing to mention is that we also do a lot of our lending via intermediary banks, particularly promotional banks in the member states. Banks like Kommunalkredit in Austria, or CDC in France, or Belfius in Belgium, or BGK in Poland, where we can actually work with those banks to finance smaller investments across the country, and that way we can reach towns of, let's say, 10 to 20,000, whereas with our individual loans we're typically working with larger cities of upwards of 75,000.